Hi, I'm Justine Louise. Welcome to my channel. So today I am going to be telling you about my experience having a procedure done. It was actually done at a med spa at a dermatologist's office, and it's a procedure called Ultherapy. I've never had it before. It was my first time, so I just thought I would go over with you guys and let you know what my experience was, the prep, the actual procedure, and all that kind of stuff in case it's something that you were thinking about getting done and just wanted a little bit more information. But first I'm going to give you a little bit of background on me. So I usually get Botox done, and I actually have it done for a different reason than what you're probably thinking. I have it done right in this area here to lift this eye because I'm actually blind in this eye. If you want to see more in depth about my blind eye, I actually have a video all about that. But in a nutshell, this eye never grew. I've been blind since I was about 2 years old. So this is the size of a 2-year-old eye. And with aging, it's starting to droop, and it's a little bit droopier than this one, and it's not symmetrical, and it bugs me. So I have always been trying to find different ways to improve that. And one of the things I just kind of came up with myself, I didn't get recommended, I just thought, I wonder if Botox, because it does lift your eyebrows, and I thought maybe if I had this eyebrow lifted a little, it would lift this eye a little. So I contacted my dermatologist, who I had been going to for a few years for cystic acne, and mentioned it to him, and he said, yeah, that probably is a good idea. So this was about 3 years ago, and I've been getting it done consistently for the past few years, and I've been very happy with the results. Now, for most people, they probably say it's very minor, you can barely notice the difference, but for me, when you have something that isn't the norm like everybody else, even a slight little tweak makes you feel so much better. So for me, I just felt a little bit more confident doing that. So anyway, as I mentioned, I thought it up myself. I wasn't recommended to have that done. So anyway, I've been keeping up with it for about 3 years now, and it is quite costly, and for me it only lasts about 2 months. Now other people have longer times that it lasts. Nobody knows it. They say it can last between 2 months, 6 months, a year. Everyone's different, and of course I'm the lucky one, and it fades away very, very quickly. It's a very, very short window where I actually see results, because it takes about 10 days to activate. So anyway, it was getting a little bit expensive, but I was enjoying it, so I just kept it up. So anyway, I changed dermatologists just because there's a place that's actually much closer to my house and comes highly recommended. So I started going there. And as soon as I started going, I had a consultation, of course, and they said, you know, this might not be the best route for you. Have you ever heard of Ulthera? It's a ultrasound. And I said, no, I've never heard of it. And he said, I think you may get a little bit better results with it, and they're a lot more lasting. Some people get between 6 months to 2 years. So I thought, well, that sounds kind of interesting, but I am a creature of habit, so I continued doing my Botox. He gave me the paperwork to research, and I just kind of put it on the back burner. So anyway, I went to see him about a month ago for my regular scheduled Botox, and I had just been there in December, so again, only lasts about 2.5 months. And he said, have you thought more about the Ulthera? And I said, you know, I'm going to do it next time. So why don't my next appointment that I book with you, we do that instead of the Botox? And he said, how about I skip the Botox today and I schedule you and you come in for this Ultherapy treatment. Just give it a try and just see how it goes. So I thought, okay, and especially with this longer lasting results, I was quite keen. So I booked the appointment for 2 weeks later, and I brought home all my paperwork on how to prep. And as I was booking the appointment, she said, the receptionist said, you do need a driver that day, whether it's a taxi or someone to pick you up. So that kind of red flagged me a little. I thought, what exactly is involved? She says, well, you are sedated and there is a painkiller and you're considered intoxicated, so you can't drive. You're considered impaired. So I said, okay, well, that's fine. So then I brought home the papers, and I'd already booked the appointment. And I started looking online, and I started seeing a lot of people talking about pain. I watched one video, it was a group of women, and they were all talking about their experiences. And one of the conductor of the meeting said, okay, let's say childbirth is a 10. What would you ladies rate this? And I had one woman that said 7. I've never had children, but I'm quite sure that it's very painful. So when she said a 7, I was extremely nervous. But anyway, I had booked the appointment, I'd paid my deposit, so I just thought I'm just gonna charge through and do it. And then I started reading before my treatment, the prep that was involved. So one of the things is 7 days prior you can't have any alcohol, which is no big deal for me, but I know a lot of people enjoy a glass of wine with dinner, and a lot of times on weekends they like to go out and have a few drinks. So for some people that might be a bit of a concern or an issue for them, so I just thought I would mention that. Another thing is you can't take ibuprofen, which I thought was a bit strange. And of course, a week before my appointment, I got a cold sore. I generally get them change of season, so of course spring I started getting a cold sore, so I had to take Valtrex. So I quickly phoned the clinic, and they said I am able to take Valtrex but no ibuprofen, so I couldn't take anything for the pain, which was a bit of a bummer. So that was, under normal circumstances, ibuprofen's not a big deal to me, but maybe for some people they do take that frequently. But the biggest issue for me was skincare. I didn't realize you weren't able to use any acids or any exfoliants. Salicylic acid, it's the one that clears blackheads and is in a lot of toners, and I use it every day. So you're not allowed to use that for the 7 days. No retin-A, which I use every second night. No retinols, which I use every second night as well. I alternate. And my lactic acid I wasn't able to use. I use my Good Genes every morning, or a chemical exfoliant. So I had 7 days of that. My skin didn't collapse, but I was really missing those products. So that was kind of like, what am I doing? This is a bit of a pain. Why am I going through all this? So anyway, the day of my appointment, I booked it early so that I could get it over with, and luckily hubby was able to take me, so he dropped me off. And when I arrived, I was a little bit nervous because with all this talk about pain, and I didn't quite know what to expect. I've never had a treatment in a spa, like laser treatment or anything, so I wasn't quite sure. So they put me in a room an hour prior to my appointment. It was a lovely spa room, put me in a nice chair with a fluffy duvet and a nice robe, some magazines. They had all snacks laid out for me, and then they gave me my pills, which was a Ativan and a Percocet. The Ativan was to calm anxiety and relax you, and the Percocet, they said, is for pain. So by half an hour I started feeling very relaxed, like I'd had a glass of champagne, so I felt very comfortable for when the woman was going to come in. And I should also just mention, I just had it done in my forehead area to lift the brow, specifically this eye, but you can have it done to your entire face. So the actual treatment, it was kind of a jelly. They call it an ultrasound. So it's like a jelly that she put on my skin. Your skin has to be clean, no lotion or anything on your face when you arrive. I did put a little bit of moisturizer, and they made me wash it off. So your skin is totally clear, and then she puts this, it's just kind of like a wand thing that she rubs. There was no, it wasn't abrasive or anything. It was just a smooth thing that she rubbed along my forehead. The pain, it wasn't comfortable, it wasn't an enjoyable experience, but it was nothing for me. I would say a 2 or a 3. What it felt like when it was at its peak of pain was a brain freeze, and that's what I told the woman, like, you know, when you drink like a cold drink or ice cream or something, your brain kind of gets that seize bit of pain. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's exactly what it felt like for me. Especially in certain areas, like around here was very, very painful, and on this eye. And she said those are the areas that she was working the most, really getting in there. What this treatment is supposed to do is trick your body into creating more collagen. I don't know how, I don't know why. It's these waves that go through your skin to deep portion of your skin to promote collagen. So they say that you should get results in about a couple of months, and they say your peak would be at 6 months. So it's quite a long time for me to have to wait. But I just wanted to let you guys know what my initial thoughts were, the prep, the actual treatment. I didn't have any bruising or swelling. The rest of the day I kind of had just slight tenderness, and for a few days I had a very, very slight tenderness, like a very faint bruise, but I didn't have any bruising come through whatsoever. She did say you could even get bruising popping up in different parts of your face, even though the treatment was done here, more here anyway. But it was just more tender, and especially on this side, because she really worked this side for me. But that was it. So as far as pain, honestly, I would say it was a 2 or a 3. It could have been the sedation and drugs that she'd given me beforehand that helped. So if you're scared of pain, or you are very sensitive to pain, which a lot of people are, obviously, I would recommend getting the stuff that they offer, whatever that might be as painkillers. But so far, it was a very fine experience. It wasn't enjoyable by any stretch, but it wasn't nearly as bad as I was anticipating. The prep was a little bit annoying, and it was a lot more expensive than Botox, but I just kind of looking at it that the amount I spend on Botox going every 2.5 months is way more expensive than one treatment if it lasts a long time. So I did try it for the first time. We'll see how it goes. I will do a check-in with you in 6 months. I've taken a photo of this area immediately after the appointment, and I'll check in and keep looking in and seeing how it went. But I just wanted to give you my initial thoughts on the actual procedure and the pain and the prep and all that kind of stuff, and let you know what my experience was. So anyway, if that's something that you're looking into, I hope this helped, and I hope you found this interesting, even if it's not something that you would be considering having done. And I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.